Walk down any city street today, and you're surrounded by a constant barrage of graphic advertising. Large, flat planes of color, bold silhouettes, and negative space tell us exactly what to buy, where to go, and who to watch. We take these visual tools for granted, but the foundational language for this commercial art form was developed in the gutters of Paris. It was created by a man whose birthright should have kept him far away from the world of trade and advertising. Born in 1864, Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec was the heir to one of France's oldest, wealthiest noble families. He was brought into a world of country estates and strict social expectations, where a noble title was as permanent as the furniture. He traded that predictable life for the work of a commercial illustrator, spending his nights in the dance halls and brothels of Paris to document a world his family never intended him to see. The break from his predetermined life began with sudden, severe physical trauma. When Lautrec was 13, he fell from a chair and broke his left thigh bone. A year later, a fall into a ditch shattered his right one. His parents were first cousins, and the resulting genetic fragility meant his bones could not properly heal. Both of his legs permanently stopped growing. By the time he reached adulthood, he had a full-size torso, but stood barely under 5 feet tall. He relied heavily on a cane to walk. The physical demands of 19th-century French nobility, like the riding, the seasonal hunting, the military expectations, the grand social balls, were instantly closed off to him. Rather than retreating into isolation, Lautrec developed a psychological armor. He moved through his restricted world with a fixed, sharp irony. He never published a single complaint about his condition. Instead, he made jokes, actively deflecting the pity of the people around him. This physical alienation created a deep social vacuum. Unable to participate in the rituals of his own class, he abandoned polite society entirely, migrating to a neighborhood where outsiders naturally gathered. In the 1880s, Montmartre was the chaotic, working-class entertainment district of Paris. It was loud, cheap, and entirely disregarded by the fine arts establishment, who considered the area beneath their notice. The neighborhood was buzzing with the opening of venues like the Moulin Rouge. Dance halls were packed every single night, and the performers working the stages were local celebrities within a dense radius of a few city blocks. Lautrec arrived and immediately established a routine. He sat at the exact same corner table, night after night, heavily drinking and obsessively sketching the motion around him. Over time, his small stature and constant, unchanging presence worked to his advantage. He blended completely into the background. To the dancers, waiters, and patrons, he became part of the furniture. Achieving this absolute invisibility granted him a rare perspective. Without the performers posing or adjusting to an observer, he watched and recorded their raw, unguarded reality. Polite society viewed cabaret performers as cheap novelties or fleeting illusions. Lautrec saw them exactly as they were, seasoned, working-class experts performing highly physical jobs. He painted Jane of Rille, capturing a distinct, detached internal quality. On his canvas, she appeared entirely separate from the chaotic audience watching her. He painted La Goulou as she kicked and commanded the room, documenting the ruthless, mechanical efficiency she used to manipulate a massive crowd. And he repeatedly painted the cabaret singer Yvette Gilbert, deliberately rendering her with an elongated neck and stark, dark gloves. She sent him a furious letter protesting the undignified depiction, but he had captured her authentic, unpolished stage presence. He flatly refused to romanticize these women. By documenting their flaws and their grueling labor, he validated their expertise in a way his contemporaries in the fine arts simply did not. In 1891, the Moulin Rouge management asked Lautrec to design a poster for the new season. This commission provided the perfect vehicle for his thousands of observational sketches. To translate his complex drawings into mass media, he adopted the precise visual framework of Japanese woodblock prints, recently circulating in Paris. He stripped away three-dimensional shading. Instead, he applied flat planes of color, silhouetted figures, and allowed empty space to dictate the composition. The resulting large-format lithographs went up on walls across Paris overnight. The immediate public reaction was aggressive. Citizens actively tore the posters down from the brickwork just to keep them in their homes. By merging fine art observation with commercial utility, Lautrec established a technical foundation for the field. The specific methods used in these posters would become the standard tools for advertising artists throughout the next century. But the environment that provided his subjects also fueled his decline. Lautrec drank heavily to manage his physical pain, eventually developing severe alcoholism. His family had him briefly committed to a sanitarium in 1899 to address the medical crisis. He managed to secure his release by drawing a flawless circus series from memory, proving his mind was intact. He immediately returned to Montmartre and resumed drinking. 2 years later, following a second collapse, he suffered a fatal stroke at his mother's estate. He was 36 years old. This chart shows the volume of work he produced in just 20 years. For every year he was active, he averaged dozens of complex paintings and lithographs, totaling over 1,000 finished works before his death. His body failed him quickly, but that obsessive daily vigil left behind a comprehensive visual record, one that documented a world his peers in the fine arts chose to ignore. The posters he made for the Moulin Rouge are reproduced so frequently today that they have become cultural wallpaper, masking the fact that they were once radical commercial innovations. Underneath that recognizable commercial legacy is an intensely precise artistic achievement. He gave the marginalized, working-class performers of Paris a permanent dignity, recording their lives with exact, unsentimental truth. Exiled from the aristocracy by his own bones, Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec took the tragedy that made him an outcast and used it to teach the rest of the world how to see.